Welcome back to Just a Bit Offside. I'm Fish.
K-Dog.
It's our Week 12 recap show. We're going to get things started right away. It was Thanksgiving on Thursday. 3 games to be played for USA Thanksgiving. Who kicked things off?
Bills, Lions.
That's correct. And actually,
Detroit.
it was the Bills' second time playing in Detroit in as many weeks. And this time, they're the road team.
Yeah.
And the Lions played well. The Bills ended up pulling it out. However, it wasn't a blowout.
Yeah. No, it was really close. The Bills had to win with a field goal.
That's right.
Which is funny because the Lions are bad on like everything.
Yeah. They can put up points. Their
Yeah.
defense is not great.
No.
But they have been known to put up some points. So I was shocked it was that close. And I actually believe if we bring up the footage that I said that don't be surprised if the Lions cover that spread. Hear me now and believe me later. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions don't cover that 9.5 point spread. So on these recap shows, we also have our predictions to announce. So I believe we both took the Bills.
We did, but it was a 9.5 point. Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah, Detroit covered the spread, but Bills took it out. So that's a good win for the Bills. They're still on top in their division.
Nope.
No, Miami.
Miami's still on top.
Woo!
They're both 8-3.
Same record.
Same record, but Miami beat Buffalo
earlier this season.
Yeah.
All right. So anything you want to add for this first Thanksgiving game as far as stat-wise? Or
game was pretty even.
Yeah.
You know, Allen had 253 yards, 2 TDs, 3 sacks. Goff had 240 yards, 2 TDs, a couple sacks. Nothing really overly crazy, really. You know, even Stephon Diggs.
He had a good game.
He had 77 yards and a TD. Isaiah McKenzie, 96 yards and a TD. I mean, not too bad. Detroit didn't have a whole lot going on. Brown had 122 yards and a TD, and Jamal Williams rushed for 66 and a TD. Nothing great, but, you know, it was a close game.
Yeah.
Came down to a field goal, so way to go, Detroit. Detroit's 4-7. Bills are 8-3. Bills are playing the Patriots this
That's
Thursday.
a good divisional game.
A big divisional game. Patriots are still doing not that bad. They're actually 6-5.
Yeah.
Patriots aren't bad.
Technically, I mean, we had a bonus segment about this before, that the NFC East and the AFC East, all the teams are above 500, and they're both amazing divisions. So, however, not everyone can make the playoffs. So whoever wins the division automatically, and then how many teams possibly could get a wild card spot out of that one division? It's very tough. So the Patriots want to make it. They better take on these Bills.
And Detroit moves into second place in the NFC North with the
That's not saying much.
Packers losing yesterday. So then let's move on. Game number 2.
Who's number 1 in that division? It can't be Pittsburgh.
No, it's Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. I'm sorry.
Minnesota's still 9-2.
Yeah, in the NFC North.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Next.
It was the Giants and Dallas.
That was a great game.
Yeah.
A great game. It was a lot closer. And the Giants covered the spread. The Cowboys were the favorites. They ended up winning. It was tighter. I actually thought this would be a bigger blowout. I thought the Cowboys would just decimate them. Of course, the Giants had lost the previous week. So, it was good game. Yeah,
Dallas 28, Giants 20. The spread was 9. So they just
covered.
Just covered. Dak Prescott, 261 yards, 2 TDs. Daniel Jones, 228 yards, TD, sacked 3 times.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. Saquon had a pretty quiet game, 39 yards and a TD.
Ezekiel had a good game.
Zeke had a good game. He had 92 yards, TD. Pollard had 60 yards. Those two, now the 1-2 punch is going to be crazy. Dalton Schultz had 31 yards and 2 TDs. 2 TDs on only 31 yards for Dallas.
Tight end for the Cowboys.
It's pretty awesome, and CeeDee Lamb threw in 106 yards. So, I mean, Dallas is looking good. Sorry to say that, Fish.
That's all right.
They're on the heels of your Philadelphia Eagles.
That'll be the playoffs to decide, because the Eagles, I think, are going to win that division.
Well, you guys are playing. You guys are playing each other on Christmas Eve.
Oh, I can't wait for that game.
Yeah, you might get some coal in your stocking.
Wait.
All right.
So last of the Thursday Thanksgiving USA games, it was Minnesota
and Patriots.
Patriots.
Another good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went over really well. It was tight. They didn't actually give the Vikings that much of a spread. I believe it was only 2.5.
2.5 points.
Oh, we didn't
At
say.
home.
Did we both take the Cowboys in that?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we both took the Cowboys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going into week 12, I had a 9-point lead in the picks. We both picked the Cowboys in that one. And in the Vikings game, who picked who?
I took the Patriots. You took the Vikings.
Oh, well, you gotta root against your Packers rival. I totally understand that.
Minnesota pulled it out though.
They did.
33-26.
Honestly, the Patriots played well.
Yeah.
They actually led early. It wasn't a bad pick. But the Vikings pulled it out.
Yeah, Cousins had 300 yards, 3 TDs, sack, interception, no big deal. Mac Jones had 382 yards, 2 TDs, 3 sacks. Pretty good.
Other than the sacks, that's not too bad.
Yeah, Stevenson for the Pats had an awesome game.
Yeah.
36 yards rushing, 76 yards receiving. Pretty sweet. And Devontae Parker threw in a little 80 yards receiving as well.
I also was
Pats.
pretty impressed that the Vikings finally got TJ Hawkinson on the TDs. So
Yeah, they had a pretty...
after acquiring him on the NFL trade deadline, TJ Hawkinson got a touchdown, so that was good.
Yeah, Minnesota spread it out pretty good. Rushing, Dalvin Cook only had 42 yards, so a quiet game for him. But, 310 yards, 300 yards rushing basically.
As a team?
As a team.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, 139 yards at TD. Adam Thielen, 61 yards in a TD. TJ Hawkinson, 43 yards in a TD. So that's pretty good.
It's also worth noting, and we should pop up the clip here, Jefferson is an insane beast, and he took down that one pass.
It's insane. Just everything he does is insane.
So deep, and it didn't look like it was possible. An amazing catch. Jefferson is absolutely a monster.
Yeah, he's actually, as of this morning, he's 1 point behind Tariq, or 1 yard, behind Tariq for the receiving lead right now. Yeah.
That's crazy.
1,233 yards to 1,232 yards.
Even 1,000-yard season, you're happy. These guys are already at 1,200 yards, and we're only in week 12.
Yeah, but Diggs is also over 1,000. He's 1,100.
I know, it's crazy.
And Devontae's at 999 right now. It's craziness. So, yeah, good game. Minnesota won. They stay 9-2. Who they playing this week? I got it written down here somewhere.
It's a good game, isn't it?
They're playing the Jets.
Yeah, that'll be a good game.
Playing the Jets this week, and the Pats are playing the Bills on Thursday night.
Interesting.
So there you go.
All right, Sunday football. That was a great 3-game header for American Thanksgiving. We always look forward to that day every year. The Sunday games at 1 o'clock. What do we got?
We got the Panthers 23 and Denver 10.
We talk so much that we talk about Nathaniel Hackett as coach of the Broncos and Russell Wilson being garbage. The Broncos, if I was smart man, I would have put money on the Panthers to win, because even though the Broncos were favorited, I believe, 2.5 points on the road, because on paper they're the better team. The Panthers are not good, and you got your asses handed to you. Here's a fun fact. You want to know a fun fact?
I love fun facts.
Russell Wilson has less touchdowns this season than Carson Wentz.
True story.
For the Commanders. And Carson Wentz hasn't played since week 6.
Yeah.
Russell has started every game. I don't know.
Well, good thing for the Panthers, Sam Darnold was back.
Yeah.
So Sam Darnold played.
Was it supposed to be Baker, though? Isn't Baker the starter?
But it was Sam Darnold.
Yeah, so that was amazing.
So Sam Darnold, 164 yards. He had a TD, no sacks, no interceptions. Wilson had 142 yards, a TD, and 3 sacks. This is Russell Wilson.
142 yards passing.
142 yards passing against the Panthers. Like, come on, man.
Come on,
I'm pretty sure their defense is right there at the friggin' bottom.
They gave them...
And their offense is actually right at the very bottom, too.
There should be. They don't put up any points.
Yeah.
They gave Russell Wilson so much money, even when they did the trade and they signed him to like a 5-year extension for disgusting amounts of money. He's stuck there. They need to build a team around him, bring in some more weapons, bring in whatever they have to do. Fire Hackett. He literally can't.
Oh, he's getting fired.
He's gonna get fired. This is so bad, and you lose to the Panthers anyway.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry about any of their stats. They're not really that.
Who picked what?
Denver's right at the bottom of the AFC West now. They're 3-8 and just
you're not making the playoffs.
Not looking good. No, they're below
Garbage.
Vegas. Vegas is like
Vegas is playing good.
Well, I don't know.
They're playing all right.
I don't know about that. Basically, I took the Broncos.
Why?
Just because I liked orange. So, whatever.
It's smart. I took the Panthers, so that's a point for me. All right.
All right, let's move on.
Next game.
We got the BUCCS and the Browns went into overtime.
I am impressed with the Browns. I believe going into this game, I'm pretty high on Jacoby Brissett, and Deshaun Watson's coming back next week.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
So Jacoby Brissett has been playing very well. They just lost to the Bills last week. And I honestly feel like Cleveland is a better team than they are performing. And I believe I took Cleveland for that reason in our picks.
You did. I took the BUCCS. Awesome. 23-17 in overtime.
Yeah.
Brady, 246 yards, 2 TDs, 3 sacks. Too many sacks for Brady.
Yeah.
Brissett,
Too old to be hit that many times.
Jacoby, 210. TD interception. He got sacked 4 times. Not great. Tampa had 9 penalties. That's
too
not good.
much.
That's too many penalties. Their rushing game, Tampa's rushing game is at the bottom of the league.
Well, they also didn't have Fournette.
Yeah, Fournette's not playing.
Game, yeah.
Rashad White had 64 yards rushing. From a receiving side, again, they put up yards. They just don't score a lot.
I don't think Mike Evans got a lot because he's on our fantasy team and we didn't get any points.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Godwin had 110 and a TD. Rashad White had 45 to go along with his rushing yards. And Julio Jones had 40 receiving and 15 rushing. But that's about it.
I think the biggest thing to note in this game is the Bucs had 2 chances during overtime.
Yeah.
And they couldn't even get close enough for a field goal.
Yeah.
So that's really sad. That's not the Tom Brady that we know. That's not the Tom Brady we saw in Munich.
No.
Before, like the Bucs were playing really well. This was not a good outing for the Bucs. You are so lucky that your division sucks as bad as it does.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise, you would not be leading. What's their record right now? 5-7?
5-6.
5-6 because they had a bye week.
And they're still in first place.
Still in first place at 5-6. That is disgusting. You're automatically going to make the playoffs. And with that, you never count out Tom Brady in the playoffs. But your team is horrible. I don't know if he should have come back out of retirement just to suffer like this, to get sacked at 46 years old. Yeah. And then this is all just horrible. They're not playing well.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like right now, Atlanta's 5-7. Atlanta's playing. They're playing the Steelers.
All right,
so that
they might win that.
They might
game.
win that game.
Yeah.
Well, but also the Bucs are playing the Saints. So there you go.
And that's divisional, and the Saints just got shut out this week. We'll get to that game in a little bit, but
so I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know who.
I think Tampa Bay's winning this division.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
Atlanta's not going to catch them.
You never know. It's close.
Yeah.
It's close.
It is close.
The Bucs need to step it up. You're probably going to win this division by default and go to the playoffs, but it just not good stuff from Tom Brady.
Yeah.
They can do much, much better.
Yeah. Cleveland put some good numbers up. Chubb had a good game, 116 yards and a TD. Your favorite player of the week, MVP, Anthony Schwartz. Dropped 31 yards and a TD. Way to go, Schwartzman.
He scored the first touchdown for Cleveland. We were watching the game. We're like, who the f*** is Schwartz?
Yeah. It's like, all right.
Not Kareem Hunt, not Nick Chubb, Schwartz.
Yeah, and Cooper threw in 94 yards receiving because Amari's good.
Amari's
awesome.
Yeah.
So, way to go. The Browns should be better. I agree. Next week, the Browns are in Texas playing the Texans.
That's a win.
I was wondering how that schedule works when Deshaun Watson comes back. And they happen to be in Houston.
Oh.
Way to go, Goodell. Collusion.
They're like, how long should his suspension be? Well, when do they play the Houston Texans, his former team? Week 13. Perfect. Your suspension's 13 weeks.
Ridiculous.
So that'll be also very interesting because Jacoby Brissett is not playing horribly. You just beat the Bucs.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, though, they're paying him way too much money for him not to start when his suspension is up. So it'll be very interesting because he's been rusty. He has been allowed to practice since week 11.
Yeah.
So we'll see how Deshaun Watson plays against his former team.
No, they paid him $240 million guaranteed. Get your ass in the game.
You're going to play.
You're playing every minute of every game until forever. So,
all right, next.
Ravens and Jags in Jacksonville. This game, again, was a barn burner.
I cannot believe this.
This was a crazy game.
Yeah.
Jags 28, Ravens 27.
Yeah.
Insane. We both took the Ravens.
Yeah, because that's the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
And this was in Jacksonville, I believe.
In Jacksonville, yeah.
And the Ravens were favored going into this game by 4 points. They just offensively couldn't really get it going. Then it looked like they were going to win this game.
Yeah.
And then Jacksonville came back, and it was just literally touchdown to be within one. And I thought this is Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
The balls on this man, huge. Andre the Giant sized testicles. You could kick the field goal, kick the extra point
Yeah.
and tie the game and go to overtime. Or
Yeah.
2-point conversion for the win. And the balls on this guy going for the 2-point conversion, getting the W. You either look like a hero or a chump, right? There's no in between.
Yeah, it's not going to.
You miss that, you're like, you lost the game going for a 2-point. You could have kicked the extra point, go to overtime.
Yeah.
And they did. He went for it. And there's actually 2 games this week where that happened, where a last-second 2-point conversion to win, and the Jags upset the Ravens. We both took Baltimore.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, like, come on, man.
Yeah, again, like 254 yards, a TD, and a sack. He also led the team in rushing like usual with 89 yards.
Gus the Bus was back.
Gus the Bus was back. He had 52 yards and a TD. Trevor Lawrence had a game.
He played good.
321 yards, 3 TDs, no interceptions, 4 sacks. Still too many.
Yeah.
But, good game. Jags look good, you know?
They're not going to make the playoffs.
No.
Let's just say that. But honestly, you upset the Ravens, and the Ravens have the Bengals right on their heels. So you got to win those type of games, especially you're facing the Jags. Beat the Jags, man, because the Bengals are knocking at your door, Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens are still winning the division at 7-4, but the Bengals are tied 7-4. So that's interesting. Then you got Cleveland and Pittsburgh, so they don't even count. But anyways, whatever. So
all right, and we already said who picked who. So
we both picked the Ravens.
Next game, Texans.
Texans in Miami. It was a little hot for the Texans. They weren't really enjoying it.
Well, they're from Texas, so you think they'd be used to the
No,
heat.
they found the heat a little too hot.
No, I didn't know that.
They were having a hard time. So.
Although I know they were shut out for quite a bit of this game. At one point, I believe it was like 30-0. Or
I don't know.
Something stupid.
It finished 30-15. So, but I'm pretty sure Miami was up 21-0 or something.
And Miami had a defensive touchdown. It looked just disgusting early on. We don't need to dive deep into this game.
No.
Miami is on a heater. Like we said, they're tied with the Bills, but because of their win over the Bills, they're leading their division in the AFC North right now.
Yeah.
That is very good for the Dolphins, who are on a nice heater ever since Tua is back from his concussion. So they're playing well. What about some of the receiver stats? Or
nothing great. I mean, Tua threw for 300 yards. I mean, Tyreek Hill had 85. Waddle had 85 also, but neither of them had a TD.
Oh, interesting.
Jeff Wilson had a TD. I don't really have any stats on the Texans.
What's the point?
There's maybe
garbage.
One guy caught a ball.
Garbage.
Their quarterback was Kyle Allen, though.
So it wasn't Mills.
It wasn't Mills. I don't know what happened there. But he went for 215 yards. He had TD, 2 interceptions, and he threw down 5 sacks.
Ooh.
So that's always good.
Miami was
Texans are 1-9-1 now.
Miami was a 13-point favorite. Did they cover that spread?
Oh yeah,
yeah, easily.
Yeah, they beat them by 50.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there's not even much point talking more about this game to recap because it's the Texans. We probably both took the Dolphins.
Well, we did.
Okay.
But what we should talk about is this week, week 13.
Yeah.
Because the Dolphins are playing the 49ers.
That's going to be a really good game.
That's going to be a game.
Yeah. If you want, sorry to Palmerino, who's the biggest Dolphins fan we know, that's going to be a real tough game because the 49ers are on a heater. Yeah. They have everything firing on all cylinders. Amazing defense. Christian McCaffrey, Debo, all of it. Jimmy G is playing well. Yeah. It is not going to be an easy cakewalk for the Dolphins in week 13.
That game and the Chiefs and the Bengals. Those are the games of the week.
Those will be good games. Yeah.
All right, next. We're going to New York.
You know what?
The Bears are going to New York.
I would have loved to seen Justin Fields play this game. He was out. Originally, it was announced that the third stringer Peterson was going to start, and then it ended up being Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened there, but Justin Fields out for the Bears. That didn't give them much hope at all, since he is basically carrying the team on his back with rushing and throwing yards.
Yeah.
So the Bears really didn't stand a chance, even though that there was a bit of a chance only because they benched Zach Wilson for Mike White. But Mike White gave Zach Wilson the finger on the bench. Like
he went off.
He
man.
went off. He had a great game.
Yeah, 315 yards, 3 TDs, no interceptions. That's a good game.
That's a good game.
That's a good game. Trevor Siemian,
Yeah.
179 yards, a TD, an interception, and 2 sacks.
That's not good.
Not great, but Mike White had a game.
Yeah, he played really good.
Rushing, we saw some good yards, 158. Donovan Knight, 69. Ty Johnson, 62, and a TD. It's good to see that after that injury to Breece Hall.
Yeah.
That kind of screwed them.
Yeah.
Receiving, 315 yards is a lot of yards considering you haven't played at all this year. Garrett Wilson, 95 yards and 2 TDs, which is pretty awesome. Elijah Moore, 64 yards and a TD. Pretty awesome.
I think the biggest story here is that Zach Wilson, the crybaby, prima donna, it's not my fault, getting benched.
Yeah.
Not only getting benched, but being told you're the third stringer.
Yeah.
That Mike White's going to start and Flacco's the backup.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuck it all to him by Mike White going off.
For Chicago, though, one bright light. Montgomery having a great season. 79 yards rushing, 34 yards receiving.
He's good.
And Chase Claypool had another 51 yards, which is a nice pickup that they got.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And he's Canadian.
There you go. I took the Bears.
Oh.
You took the Jets. There you go. Let's move on.
Jets won.
All right, let's go. Another game that we couldn't understand because it seemed to be just a Bengals at Titans.
So we were watching this game.
We were watching this game, yeah.
And it was there was just trading field goals, right? Yeah. And then Derrick Henry went for a run, and we're like, oh, he's got this TD, right?
Yeah.
At the last second, he gets the ball punched out into the end zone. Fortunately for the Titans, another Titan scrambled onto the ball, and the Titans got the touchdown.
Yeah.
But you would have sworn like this was Derrick Henry's ball, and he's such a beast. It's almost like instead so smart from the Bengals defender to not tackle Derrick Henry and go for, and he got a direct shot.
Yeah.
He on the ball, punching it out of his arm.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so Henry only finished with 38 rushing yards
because of that. Because he didn't. It doesn't count as a rush with that fumble.
He had 79 receiving yards. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
But basically, since he pulled it out, 2016, we were watching it. We were both looking at each other like, "What the hell is Tannehill doing?" Like he was throwing the ball
way over people's heads.
291 yards, no TDs, interception, and a sack. Like he just did not have a good game. Burrow, quiet game, 270, 1 TD, 1 sack. You know,
they didn't have Joe Mixon. They're still without Jamar Chase. So to win on the road against a very tough Titans defense, regardless of Tannehill's inabilities and Derrick Henry getting that ball punched out, the Titans were the better team on paper. I'm not sure who is favored. The Bengals by 1.5.
Yeah.
So it was a coin flip game. And the Bengals ended up pulling it out, which they need because they're right there with the Ravens in the AFC North, trying to get that playoff spot. The Titans, I think, are going to win their division no matter what. It's almost, it's just unfair. Like their division sucks so bad that they're going to win their division.
Yeah. I mean, T. Higgins, took the load on for Cincinnati at 114 yards and at a TD. Burrow had 32 yards rushing off 9 carries. I think he's running too much. So
he's not much of a runner.
Yeah, he shouldn't be running. He's running too much. So, but anyways, since he goes to 7-4, they tie the Ravens. Still second place, but I guess the Ravens beat Cincy this year. Obviously, is that what happened?
I'm not sure how that is, but regardless, if their records are tied, it's going to be real tight going on these last few weeks. Yeah.
Well, this week the Bengals are playing the Chiefs.
That's tough.
So that should be pretty interesting.
That's tough.
That's going to be interesting. And the Titans are playing Philadelphia.
Nice.
So that's also going to be Dick Punch.
Who picked who?
You took the Bengals.
I took
the Titans, and I lost again. Okay.
My boy Joey Burrow on my fantasy team.
All right. Okay.
Next.
This is crazy. Atlanta and Washington. Atlanta wins again. No, they don't.
No, Commanders won.
I'm only kidding. Washington wins again. Yes. Heineke, baby. 1913. Take that. You want a nice cold Heine? Yes.
We said it earlier in the show, the NFC East and the AFC East, all the teams are above 500. The Commanders, even though they're in last place in the NFC East, because of the Giants record, the Cowboys and the Eagles are 10-1.
Yeah.
They're still winning.
Yeah, they're 7-5.
That's good. Yeah. And it's all, honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, it's all because of Heineke. I'll give them all the credit. They beat the Eagles. Yeah. That's the Eagles' only loss, and Heineke looks so good in that game. And the fact that Carson Wentz is healthy, they're still starting Heineke is why they're 7-5.
Yeah. Yeah, Heineke, quiet game for Heineke, too, and they pulled a win out. 138 yards, 2 TDs, no sacks, pretty good. Mariota, 174 yards, TD, interception, and a sack. Nothing crazy.
He's not a star.
But Heineke had a quiet game, and they got the win. It's all that matters.
There's a reason why Mariota was a backup and demoted to backup. He shouldn't be a starting quarterback. The Falcons, if you want to do better, you've got some great weapons. Drake London is an amazing rookie receiver. Cordell Patterson, you got to do better. Dump Mariota. Do what you got to do. Get a veteran or a great quarterback in the draft because Mariota is not good. Yeah. For Washington, Brian Robinson had a great game, 105 yards rushing and 20 yards receiving and a touchdown. And good yard. Got shot in the leg. Yeah. In a carjacking preseason. There you go. This guy is amazing. There's a reason why he was one of the top running back rookies, and he's playing really well. Yeah. Atlanta, whatever. Nothing crazy. On to the Nobody put up some great stats there because it's Atlanta. Who took Washington, you took Atlanta, so I actually get a win. Hey-o. There you go. I had to root against divisional rivals, so there you go. All right. On to the 4:00 game. We had the Chargers in Arizona. Dicker the kicker. Chargers pulled it out by a point. I believe this is the other 2-point conversion game. Was that the 2-point conversion game? I believe so. Arizona was Kyler Murray starting though. Kyler Murray was starting. Yeah. So a really good game. It was in Arizona. Chargers 4.5-point favorites going into it. Chargers took a very devastating loss to the Chiefs because they played well last week. So I think the Chargers are a good team. Eckler is amazing. I like Herbert. And it all, come on. Dicker the kicker. Yeah. He's the man. Yeah, Herbert had 274 yards, 3 TDs. Got sacked 3 times. Not great. Kyler Murray, 191 yards, 2 TDs, interception, and a sack. Bit of a quiet game, but it's first game back. How did DeAndre Hopkins play? DeAndre Hopkins, 87 yards and a TD. There you go. James Conner had a big game. Yeah. 120 yards rushing, 20 yards receiving. Nice game. Kyler Murray, of course, had 56 yards and a TD because he loves to run. But the Chargers pulled it out. Who picked it? We both picked the Chargers. Oh, interesting. Probably because we didn't think Kyler Murray was playing. And Herbert led the team in rushing, which was weird. Yeah. It wasn't Eckler. No, 30 yards. Eckler only had 20. Weird. Had 60 yards and a TD receiving, but Chargers pulled it out. That's an awesome game. And, all right. And Cardinals are on a bye this week, and the Chargers are playing the Raiders in Vegas. We should say there were no buys for Week 12 only because of Thanksgiving. They wanted to load all the games. So there were no buys in Week 12, but there will be some buys in Week 13, which we'll discuss in our prediction show later this week. There you go. All right. Raiders, Seahawks. I've been so high on Geno, and he let me down. This game went to OT as well. Yeah. And the Raiders pulled it out, and I'll give you 2 words. Yeah. Josh Jacobs. Oh, man. Holy shit. He took the rushing lead for the season now. For the season, yeah. So, end of the game, overtime. Vegas 40, Seattle 34. Derek Carr, 295 yards, 3 TDs, 2 interceptions. Geno, 328 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception, 3 sacks. There you go. Geno had a good game. The reason why this was the Vegas Raiders game to win was because of Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs had 229 yards rushing with 2 TDs, and he had 74 yards receiving also. That's disgusting. So that's pushing him just around 303 yards. Yeah.
in total.
All-purpose yards, yeah.
Then Devontae Adams had 74. So 74 yards. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. Hollins, Abudallah, and Moreau all had a TD as well. Devontae didn't have a TD. But, yeah, that was it. I mean, Seattle still had a good game. Kenneth Walker had a decent game. 26 yards, 2 TDs, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And Metcalf had 90 yards. Tyler Lockett threw in 68 in a TD. Travis Homer had a TD. But it was all about Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
And he won the game. His second TD was on a giant rush.
Yeah.
Won the game for the Raiders, who picked the winner.
This also gives him a big lead on Derrick Henry in terms of the rushing yards for this year.
Yeah.
About 80 up now on
Well, it's because Derrick Henry had that punch out, which cost him, that was like a 60-yard run.
I was going to say it was 60 yards, yeah. So, okay, so there you go. Vegas this week. Let's see who's playing who. Oh, yeah, the Raiders are playing the Chargers. We already talked about that. And where's Seattle going this week? Oh, Seattle's playing the Rams, so that's a win.
Yeah, the Rams are horrible.
Rams are not looking too good.
And who picked who?
I took the Raiders, so I got this one.
That's right. I like Geno, and then the Seahawks were at home, so yeah, that's why I picked them.
These two games won't take us long to talk about because the expectations were as we expected.
Rams-Chiefs?
Rams-Chiefs. Rams came to town, and the Chiefs kicked their asses right back to L.A.
Yeah.
26-10, covered the spread of a 14.5 spread.
There you go, Rams.
There you go. Moves Kansas City to 9-2. Moves the Rams, former Super Bowl champions,
last year, yeah,
to 3-8.
Also, Stafford didn't play, concussion protocol.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp out with a high ankle injury and surgery.
Yeah.
The Rams season is over.
Bryce Perkins started the game.
Oh, good old Bryce.
We all know Bryce Perkins.
Oh, he's a wonder.
Back in his days at Colorado State, where they led him to the national championship over the North Dakota Farmhands.
Everything you just said was a lie.
Whatever. Bryce Perkins had 100 yards,
Oh,
a TD, 2 interceptions, and a sack. Mahomes had 320 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception, played the whole game left-handed,
Yeah.
and no shoelaces. A prop bet with Kelsey, which was nice.
yeah. He's like, I bet you I could throw for 300 yards with my shoelaces untied.
Yeah, those two they're having a good time. They're having fun.
They're having a good time.
They're just making football fun again.
Travis Kelce also had a TD.
Yeah, Kelsey, he only had 57 yards.
Yeah.
57 yards and a TD. Valdez-Scantling had 56 yards. Juju threw in a little 38.
Yeah.
Pacheco
He's good.
at 69, he ran in a TD.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is out, and Pacheco is really fast. He's a good backup.
Yeah, there was not much going on for the Rams. One thing that's not good for the Rams is that Bryce Perkins, their quarterback, led the team in rushing with 44 yards. That shouldn't be happening.
That's awful.
So either way, there you go. We both took Kansas City. The
There you
Rams, I don't know what the hell is.
They're done. Their season's done.
I guess, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll be fine next year.
They'll get healthy and they'll play better next year, but this season's over.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next up.
Next, Saints 49ers.
Saints, 49ers, and New Orleans forgot to score.
The Red Rocket couldn't get a TD, no field goals, nothing.
Did you read the playbook? What
was
was
it-
in there? Score. Score the ball.
Was it 13-0?
13-0.
13-0. So now they didn't 49ers didn't put up a lot of points.
No.
But it was enough to win the game. Your defense shut them out. So that there's not much really to discuss here.
Yeah, Dalton had, the Red Rocket had 204 yards, no TDs. Jimmy only had 222 yards, a TD and a sack. Nothing really, it wasn't a big game, right?
No,
You think they would
13-0's really quiet.
Yeah, McCaffrey only had 32 yards. Ayuk only had 65 yards. Like, it wasn't a crazy game. The 49ers just smoked them because the Saints
They're
just
way
aren't
better.
good. So
Yeah.
that's that. And then, the 49ers got the Dolphins this week. That's the game of the week.
That's a good game. Yeah.
49ers are now leading their division.
Yep.
So that's awesome.
Well, with a Seattle loss.
Yeah, Seattle lost. Yep. So, they're 7-4 now. New Orleans is 4-8, sitting in the bottom.
Yeah, they're done.
They could catch up because Tampa is still only 5-6, and they're winning their division. So.
I think that New Orleans is done.
But that's it. And New Orleans is playing the BUCCS this week. That's right. So there you
And
go.
we both picked the 49ers.
both picked the 49ers.
All right. I figured as
BUCCS
much.
Saints this week could be a pretty interesting game. It is obviously divisional.
The Bucks, if the Bucks want to win this burger of a division,
Yeah.
they should win this game just to secure, even with a a below 500 record.
But if the Saints win, that moves them to 5-8, and that moves the BUCCS to 5-7.
Aren't they 5? No, they're
5-6 right now.
Oh,
It wasn't the 5-7.
that'll be interesting.
I don't know. All right.
Bucks better win this game this week.
All right.
All right, now
Final game.
This is so important. We have to talk about this.
Yeah.
It's Sunday Night Football, and the greatest thing of the entire season is the fact that K-Dog's favorite team is the Green Bay Packers. And mine is the Philadelphia Eagles. No, you're protesting to that?
I just needed a big sip of that.
Gotcha.
I know we're going to discuss.
And they were facing each other, and I was so excited because my Eagles were 9-1 going into this. The Packers with a losing record.
Yeah.
It was not going to look good. However, I will give the Packers props for keeping this game close. Now, Aaron Rodgers did leave in the third quarter. They announced earlier this week he's been playing with a broken thumb. That doesn't seem to be bothering him. But he had a rib injury, and finally, we got to see a little love.
Yeah.
Feeling some love.
I was impressed with Jordan Love. I thought Jordan Love had a great game.
He played pretty good.
He looked good. He had a nice, crisp pass to Christian Watson for another touchdown.
That's Watson, by the way.
Looked good.
Rookie Watson for the Packers, 6 touchdowns in 3 games.
I hate to say it because it pisses me off, but Philadelphia looks pretty good.
Thank you very much.
Game 40-33. Hurts had 153 yards, 2 TDs, 2 sacks. He also rushed for only 157 yards. Captain Show Off. Then Miles Sanders decided, hey, I'll throw in another 143 yards rushing.
With 2 TDs.
I'll score 2 TDs. Yeah. They had 363 rushing yards.
Yeah.
Seriously. Devontae Smith had 50 yards. A.J. Brown had a touchdown and 46. Quez Watkins had 35 and a touchdown. Philly's just good. I hate saying that. They're just good. Rodgers had a bad game. 140 yards, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions, 3 sacks. Jordan Love looked good.
What was his stats? Yeah.
113 yards and a TD. No interceptions, no sacks. I thought he looked pretty good.
Not bad for 2 quarters.
I don't know what they're going to do with this whole Rodgers and Love situation, but considering, now, if we want to look to next season, now, because I think we have to, let's just face it, even if they go...
You don't think the Packers are going to make the playoffs?
Oh, they got to run the table the next 5 games. Even if they run the next 5 games, they're going to be 9-8. They're going to potentially... That's possible. That's a possible wild card. But... You got to think now, with Christian Watson's looking great.
Yeah.
Dobbs is looking great. Randall Cobb is 48 years old. He's still playing well.
Yeah.
Lazard, it's not too bad. Their defense...
Aaron Jones?
Their defense yesterday was horrible, though.
Yeah.
Is
that where they need to work on for next year?
I thought they did that this year.
Well, not enough.
Because Philadelphia was doing whatever the hell they wanted.
Yeah. So, but they do that to a lot of teams.
True. Bring it up. So anyways, but stats on Green Bay side... Christian Watson, 110 yards and a TD. We like that.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones had 56 yards, receiving 64, rushing. 43 rushing and a TD. A.J. Dillon had a TD.
Yeah.
It was spread around. It was good for the Packers. We still lost.
They put up a lot of points against a very tough defense. What's the Eagles' defense rank? Second in the league?
Second in the league.
So you put up 33 points against the number 2 defense in the league.
Yeah, the Packers played okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This week, though, they're playing the Bears.
That's divisional.
Is Justin Fields going to play? I don't know. I think you got to rest Rodgers, and let's see what Jordan Love can do.
I think the organization and the coaches might take this opportunity to give Jordan Love a chance and give Rodgers a rest. They're paying Rodgers just too much money. They can't really do much about this. They're going to have to ride this out and just keep Jordan Love happy until Rodgers either retires or gets traded.
All right. Well, there you go. I guess we'll wait and find out.
And of course, we each took our own team in the predictions, so I get a point there.
Awesome.
There were no bye weeks. There's still the Monday night game. By the time you're watching this, we have recorded this. The Monday night game has not played. It is Colts Steelers. I believe I took the Colts?
Yeah, I took the Steelers.
He took the Steelers. So we don't know where that's going to end up. We'll talk about that later, either in our prediction show or a bonus segment for a Monday night recap. In this week, though, week 12, I was 9 points in predictions ahead going into this week.
Yeah.
Where are we sitting at right now?
My math is correct. It's 12-10-U.
That's 2 more.
Yeah. So that's 11.
So I got 12 correct. You got 10 correct. So that is now an overall total of 11 points that I'm ahead.
That's
You
math.
still got a few weeks left to make some ground.
Yeah.
And if we're watching this and the Steelers that beating the Colts, that's a point right
That
there.
could happen.
We'll see. Also, tune in later this week for our Week 13 prediction show. We will break down all the games, including who's on a bye. We're also going to talk our fantasy football league versus fans. We do that in our prediction show. We got a barn burner going this week against Nelson Billings. It all comes down to this Monday Night Football game that we haven't seen yet. By the time you're watching this, it's already aired. That if Michael Pittman for the Colts doesn't get many yards, we win. It's all Pittman. Our players are done. He has Pittman. If Pittman gets shut down, we win.
All right.
I'm excited to see that.
Let's see what happens.
So don't forget to tune in later this week for those other shows. And for this one, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram as well. Until next time, I'm Fish.
K-Dog.
We'll see you again soon.
Peace.